Good morning, Jesters Court, and welcome to our second rendition of Jest to Recap. This is where Kopy and I, Warren Sprague, go over all of the different shows from week 2 of season 11 of Jesters, which means it's time for our favorite first segment of the show, Shows from a Hat. That's right. There we go. Look at that, Kopy. I have, for our first show this week, how about Centennial versus Burkhardt?
So I think last week I mentioned the show that Centennial was in, and I talked about how adorable it was. So I wonder if Centennial's not going to turn into the adorable team. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize, even when we made the video, that Gemma was Joe's little sister. It just their way that they think about ideas and the way that they do their scenes is insanely adorable. And then with Burkhardt was a force, man. They were powerful and they were strong. They didn't mind getting up there and being loud and saying, "Hey, we're here." So it was a fun show to witness, but with how different the two of them were.
I believe it. How about number 13, Westec and Harborview?
Gosh, man, Westec reminded me a little bit of Tuacahn, and Tuacahn, we miss you. We miss you a lot.
We really do.
But what I mean by that is they reminded me of Tuacahn in the sense that a big team, yellow shirts.
Yeah, first show for them.
First show, big audience. So they were very excited to be up there. There were some nerves for sure. Even the most confident get nervous from time to time. I know that there was a point in this past year where I said to somebody I was nervous about something. And I've been doing this a long time. And then on the other side with Harborview had some new faces up there as well. And I think there was enough good energy going on that stage for that show that both teams were happy, but walked away from it now going to go to practice this week going, how do we get better? Yeah. And that's what you want.
Some place to jump off from. Durango, Western, show number 2 of the week.
This may have been the best show of the week in my opinion.
Heard about that.
I walked back through the curtain to get ready for this show, and I saw a Western team that was probably the most nervous of the week. And some of them were literally shaking. Mm-hmm. And I looked at Durango, who had a couple of veterans up there with Maya and Sasha, and I just said, hey, take care of them, so embrace them. And from the start of that show, that's what happened. That there was a group effort to where Western and Durango worked together to put on as good of a show as they could. And now Durango had some new faces up there too, with Josh and James, but they did not show any nerves whatsoever. So fun show. I was happy I got to be up there for that.
Awesome. Yep. And show number 3, Pahrump versus Spring Valley. Pahrump's first show of the year.
Yep. Pahrump had a bye week the week before. Actually, 3 of the shows we just talked about had bye weeks the week before.
Oh, well, that's coincidental.
Yeah. Pahrump had a bye week, but so last year, Alexis and Mallory were your driving force to try and make anything happen, and they showed up this week, and they were not in the show. They had all new people up there with John. And
love John.
And that for me was showing that Pahrump is growing, and that they're trying to do as much as they can with this thing out there at Pahrump. And I know they have. They've done some showcases I've gone out there for. They are light years different than where they were last year, and that's awesome. And then at Spring Valley's side, Big Ari and Nicole just lighten it up like they normally do, showing, hey, they've been around for a few years. With Ryan in her second year, and then Jada, who I know is very exciting for the coaches over at Spring Valley. They're excited for what Jada will turn into. Jada's first show. So that was a good way to close out Friday.
Cool.
Speaking of Spring Valley, we already recorded this video at Spring Valley.
We don't have time. We don't have time.
Well, watch right here. Here's a clip of us at Spring Valley.
Del Sol took on Basic this week.
Okay, I'm glad you know. So that's Mr. Cofield down there. Candid shot of him being a teacher.
Wow, anyway, that was lightning.
Del Sol. Teach. So that was just proof to you that we did it. Yeah. And we had problems with the video, so we had to redo it.
And now we're doing it again with show number 14, Del Sol versus Basic. Basic is the school we played against.
So Del Sol Basic closed out Saturday. We got some new faces up there as well. Sierra over at Basic definitely made herself known at the end of that show. In their machines round. Yes. And then Del Sol had 3 new people up there with new fresh haircut Mia. And Mia, I love your hair.
As do I, Mia. Of all of you.
She helped lead the train over there. So, I mean, I think that Machines at the end of the show is a great way to end the day.
Yeah.
So,
Good show. Glad it was a solid show for number 5 this time, though. LVA versus Rancho.
So, LVA and Rancho got our first tie of the year on the judges' scores.
Whoa!
So, what that means, though, is that it was competitive. They worked together. They both put up a good product.
Yep.
And I think they can be happy. There were some new people in that show as well. Elliot leading the charge for the defending champs in LVA. And then with Rancho, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, 3 new faces up there.
Right.
Including the twin boys. So, there's another fun show to be up there for.
Yeah, I know we're really excited about Rancho's development this year, and good job, guys, on a great show there. Number 1, Clark versus Bonanza.
Open the weekend
For the home team.
for the home team. Yep, because Clark hosted, and then Bonanza's like the next door neighbor to Clark, so it was not hard for those two to fill up the theater with an audience. And the energy was electric for Clark, so I think that they can be excited about just that alone. But Clark has always just been unanimously this giant team of people. So they're going to keep cycling through new people. And then Bonanza, now in the Tirza era, Bonanza also giant teams. So Donna led the charge for Bonanza up there, being a 3-year veteran. And then we had Vanessa up there again for Clark, leading the Clarkies.
Yep.
So
nice to see multiple leaders coming out of both schools, really, at this point. Number 7, Green Valley versus Valley, the Battle of the Valleys.
I think my Kopy challenge last week of bring new people, it did show this week. Good. And I don't know if it's because I said that or you guys just all listened or what. But Valley and Green Valley showed that as well. So new people up there for both shows. It was weird to not see Geo in the show because there were new people up there. But that's not a bad thing. But it was nice to see new faces. So now, say on the Valley side of it, discovering Anaya and just those weird, fun faces. Yeah. Even if you want to go back through pictures, just look at her face in those pictures.
You can learn from those kinds of facial expressions, for sure.
Absolutely. I think Justice might be finding some confidence over with Green Valley. So we're discovering more. And for me, that shows discovery. It was, what else can we do?
So last week, this school was our top scoring school. How did Sunrise Mountain do this week with Legacy across the stage from them?
So this was fun for me because I feel like the Western Durango show, we had teams that helped each other. And I felt a little bit of nervous energy from Legacy prior because there were 3 new people up there.
Right.
And then I feel like once they got out there, they felt like, oh, well, we're all in the same world. We can do this together. Ronnie truly showed that he's the leader over there with Sunrise, at least in this show.
Awesome.
And helped lead the charge. And this was a good show to be up there for. Both teams should be pretty proud of themselves.
Good job. Good job keeping that momentum going. And Las Vegas High School and Mojave, show number 8 of the week.
I had a happy moment backstage on this one. I went back and I looked at Las Vegas and I saw all the new faces up there and immediately was happy because I know that, or at least in the past couple of years, just trying to grow the Las Vegas improv team, that it's kind of been the same ones each year, but obviously we grow older and we graduate. So I knew by looking at who was going on stage for Las Vegas, I was like, oh great, we're growing. There's new people.
Yeah.
And that might be a tip of the hat to Gabe for being there in his second year and
doing a lot of good work over at that school.
So that made me super happy. And then the other side, Mojave was interesting because the people that I thought were going to be nervous on stage were confident. The people I thought were going to be confident on stage were nervous. And that's just what the first show does sometimes. It puts us in a different mindset. But Little Hot Cheeto, DJ, led the way again, who she might be the leader of the team this year. So that was a cool show to witness.
Cool. Number 4, Desert Oasis, Sierra Vista.
First show of the Saturday. Sometimes the first show feels like a first show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think this one felt that way. But I'd love to at least highlight one big point about what happened in the show. On Sierra Vista, there's a performer named Destiny. It was her very first show. And almost every time it came to her, so whether it was radio or just her time to speak in a scene, she kind of had a pausing moment where she kind of paused or froze or whatever word you want to use. But after that moment, she always had something. She had something clever, something funny, something witty, just something that added to their direction. And I think that that's such a good message to send out to the whole league of just saying, hey, as long as you do anything, you can't fail at this. There's no failure. And Destiny, I want a complete pat on the back to you. And I hope you know that. I hope you're not in your head going, oh, I paused. Don't. You gave something. You gave something every single time.
Yeah.
And that's all that we asked for. Yeah. Now the rest of the show, a bunch of new people up there again for both teams. For me, it feels like almost like there's a new era at Desert Oasis now, with Chase kind of taking over things. So I was happy with the 8 a.m. of that day. So I will do that 8 a.m. again. I would love to.
Awesome. Show number 11 of the week, Chaparral versus East Tech.
Walking back to the curtain, seeing East Tech, the 4 new people in their Blazers.
Yeah.
So 4 have not done a show before. It just made me think of the years of the Blazers, because the Blazers are such a symbolic thing about East Tech for this league, and seeing the 4 new faces just immediately made me smile and made me think of course, the original team, but just the teams over the years. East Tech won a championship past the original team. Yeah. So we've just seen a lot there, and that was awesome to see. Romeo now taking over this year for them. And then on the other side for Chaparral, this was the Kiara show, man.
Boom.
She had an awesome show. Yeah. She ended up closing out Survivor as that final player, and just all over that show. It was she made her presence felt. So both teams should be happy about where they were. I loved seeing those new faces. I love seeing, there's new faces up there for Chaparral as well. Good. So let's just keep that train rolling.
There's a lot to grow on both teams, but it's nice to know they're both on the up and up for sure. Yep. How about show number 10, Secta versus Silverado?
This one could have been labeled Jordan versus Nick. They closed out a what else you got together, where I just said to the audience, I said, hey, prepare yourselves. This is about to happen.
Was what else you got? Not to do rap rap?
It was what else you got.
Yeah, gotcha.
There was to do rap rap in that show, but the what else you got was between Jordan and Nick. Okay. And it's just their energy. It's that energy is what I wish we could duplicate and show and everyone could see. As weird as you might think any of them are, just you can't replace that energy. That's genuine. That's just who they are. That's who they are as people, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I can see them really throwing their ideas at the wall and just seeing what sticks and having fun with it. God, just throw your ideas at the wall, kids. You deserve it. Yeah. Number 6, Northwest and Cimarron. Interesting, that comes up now at the end.
Yeah, so maybe you could argue this one to be the best show of the day as well, if not the Durango Western show. There were four veterans up there for Northwest, and we're in post Noah and Ariel days, who were the two-headed giant there. But they were 4 players from last year that played for Northwest, and then 3 players for Cimarron that played last year. 1 was a transfer from Western in Brianna, and then 1 newbie. So only 1 new person on stage for that show, but they put up such a playoff caliber show, the 2 teams. I asked the audience at the end of the show, I said, you'll never guess who the new person is up here. And then I did all my announcements, and then I came back and said, oh, it was Robbie. It was this girl. Nice. And then I saw people look at each other, and I went, what? That was her first show? There's no way. So Robbie is a complete ringer and a liar. But it was an awesome show, man. That felt like a playoff show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where Bree ended up, huh?
Brianna from Western ended up at Cimarron, as well as Althea from Rancho.
Gosh, what a strong squad that Cimarron team can be. Man, both schools, though, are always a lock for great improv, so can't wait till the next opportunity to see either of them play. Moving on, though, that's the last show of the week, and it was a strong set of shows, to say the least. Let's talk about the props that you want to give out this week. Now, we know we don't use props in improv, folks, but that doesn't mean we can't give them out, and Kopy's got some props to give away to the students or the teams, the shows, the staff that have a strong performance in week 2. What's maybe an individual who's earned some props this week from you, Kopy?
I would like to throw props out to Caitlin from Legacy.
Nice.
Caitlin is a senior, and I've known Caitlin since she was a freshman, and this is the first year she's finally doing improv. So in the show that she had on Saturday, with how strong she was with her spaghetti, lasagna, whatever thing she did. It made me happy. It made me say, you know what, this is here for anyone, whether you're a thespian like Caitlin is and decided to dabble finally, like really give a good chance at improv, you can get something out of all of it. And I think she's a great example of that. So my props go huge to Caitlin. She helped lead a brand new legacy team up there of all new people. Cool. So huge props to her. My other props are going to go out to Western.
Nice.
Western. When I walked back through that curtain, I literally saw them shaking. I literally saw them scared to go out there. And I know that when you put on a show, it's a group effort, so Durango should get some of these props. But there was a point during the Pillars scene that Western did where I found myself in the scene, and sometimes I do that. But while I was in that scene, I felt, you know what? I don't necessarily have to be in the scene. I don't need to be helping or doing anything to help guide them. They really had it. They had a grasp. And that's such a huge leap for them going into last year. Last year being brand new, and I think largely they felt that way all year.
Right.
And I feel like in one show, there's almost a new identity.
Nice.
Pat on the back to Coach John. Pat on the back to Coach Roxanne. So Western definitely gets my props this week.
Took a full team to put up a better performance like that and to have something to build on. So that is really cool for them to earn that. What about the third one?
I'm going to acknowledge two people that I noticed that were there all day. So from first show to last show. Wow. And there may have been more, but these are the two that stood out to me. And I'm going to feel bad if there were more.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah, and I'm going to single out, like, there were a lot of Clark people that were there all weekend because we were at Clark. But outside of that, Gordon from Bonanza and DJ from Mojave were there all day Saturday.
Awesome.
Even DJ found her way up as a volunteer in the very last show.
That's right.
So 12 hours of improv, and then she found herself up there as a volunteer.
That's great.
So that's awesome. That's what this is here for. If you want that, you can have that. You can come and just laugh and have a good time.
Yeah, and make friends, right? And build connections and see what everybody else is up to, and that's what it's all about. Remember, it's a place of acceptance here at Jesters. So, as an audience member, you're accepted too. Sit and watch and learn and absorb.
So I might cut that because of the barking.
Sounds great.
Can you check the time?
Sure, let's do it. We are at 7:05.
We might be able to get through the rest of this.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, let's go ahead and move on to one additional segment we like to call the Kopy's Challenge. Every once in a while, Kopy's able to play an extra game with us on stage because we have more time left in our show, and we don't know it's coming, and that's what makes it fun. But in between the week's worth of shows, we kind of like to look at the league as a whole and see what can we improve on as a group. So, Kopy, what's your challenge for the whole league moving into week 3?
My challenge was new people. Get some new people on stage last week, and we did that. So we're almost 50-50 on having new people versus veterans on stage after the first 2 weeks.
Awesome.
But this week, my challenge is going to be make a friend. Make a friend. This league is not about the competition. It's not about winning and losing. It's about putting on the best show possible, and the only way you can do that is by working together. So we saw that amazingly with Durango and Western. We saw that amazingly in Sunrise and Legacy. And that's the challenge I'm going to make to you now is be DJ and Gordon. Is go sit with someone in the audience. If this is the place to do that. And I overheard this week, and this is what makes me think of this and make this my challenge. I overheard a student say that that everyone here at Jesters is so positive. My friends suck.
Who?
Yeah. So I'm not going to quote who said that, but I heard that this week, and that's what this is here for. You can make a friend because there's 1,000 students in this league, plus coaches and teachers and whatever, that are all in the exact same boat you are. So you are never alone, especially if you're in this league. And I tell graduated students all the time, there's always a home for you here. So if you ever want to come back, you know where to find us.
That's right.
So this week, especially if you're new and you don't know kind of how this works, make a friend.
And that'll be awesome for the opportunity for them to come and make a friend, but they're not going to get to do it this week. Unfortunately, this Saturday we won't have any shows. It's the Nevada Thespian State Conference this week. And when they're in, we're out. So all of you thespians go out there and break legs, as they say, and good luck to you.
Can't say good luck, just break legs.
Okay, just break legs. Sorry, my bad. I do it every time. But we will see you all the week following at Bonanza High School for another round of games at 6 o'clock on Friday and 8 o'clock starting all the way through the day on Saturday. And finally, Kopy, I love putting you on the spot. Since we're taking this next Saturday off, I want to know what little baby 10-year-old Kopy would have done with a Saturday off. What was your perfect Saturday?
I don't know perfect Saturday. I mean, I just remember Saturdays being synonymous with Saturday morning cartoons. And I don't know if that's even a thing anymore, but there were only, 4 channels if you didn't have cable at one point, or 3, or depending on how old you are. So I just remember cartoons being on all those channels.
You gotta give me some of your favorite cartoons.
Well, I mean, I never really... Cartoon Network was when I was older, so I never really got into that. So I'm more Looney Tunes age.
Sure.
Or Scooby-Doo or whatever. Jetsons, fun stuff. I always loved Droopy the dog.
Oh, Droopy. He's so sensitive.
That's a way better Droopy than my Droopy.
I love Droopy.
Yeah.
I kind of synonymize myself with Droopy from time to time. But hey, this has been Just to Recap. Another exciting week of shows is behind us. But thank you so much for stopping by to see what's been going on around the league. And we will see you all, not this upcoming Saturday, but the Saturday after at Bonanza for another set of awesome shows, guys. Bye.
Make a friend.
Make a friend!